It is that time again that I share pieces of me with you. And by popular demand, you guys have been asking that I talk more about dreams and lucid dreams. And ironically, just this week, I had a very interesting lucid dream slash attempted psychic attack. I'm going to tell you guys about it and how I dealt with it. But first, lucid dreams. What are lucid dreams? For those of us who do not know, a lucid dream is when we find ourselves in a very vivid, clear, and visceral dream state, and we are fully aware of being in a dream state and we are in control. And usually the lucid dreams are very linear like, and we can pretty much manifest and create and do whatever we want in the lucid dream state. That is, if we are not sharing a lucid dream state with someone else or with a group of people who have created a fixed state for entertainment, for holographic test exercises, to work out subconscious issues, etc., etc. Now, this particular lucid dream that I had was very, very powerful, and I set it up in a way that was very similar to the environment that I live in now, my house. And what happened was, and I'm not going to really get into the dream from A to Z, I'm just going to pick up where it got really, really interesting. At some point, again, I was creating, or I had created a scene where I am in my house sitting at the top of the stairway that leads up to the second tier of my house. I was sitting at the top of the stairway looking down at the doorway entrance, and the door had flung open, and at the same time that I was sitting there consciously aware, fully consciously aware that I'm having a dream and that I'm participating and making certain things happen in the lucid dream state, I feel a heavy, dark, negative, uninvited presence come around my physical body. Now, when I lucid dream, I am totally aware of the emotions, the state of my physical body, what is going on around me physically as well in the dream state. I felt a dark energy come over my physical body while I was playing out and doing what I was doing in the lucid dream state. At the same time as I'm in the lucid dream state, sitting at the top of my stair, looking down at the doorway, this guy who from the neck down appeared to be like it appeared like a thug, like, you know, typical thug with the, you know, hip hop type gear from the neck on down, didn't have a head, and with him was this big beast. And when I say beast, I mean with a capital beast of a dog. Just imagine every possible vicious dog that you can think of all rolled into one on steroids. This is how big and vicious this beast had. Huge muscles. Now, this is how this dark energy manifested itself in my lucid dream state. And again, I'm totally consciously aware that I'm in a dream state, and totally consciously aware and present in my physical body, feeling that energy that was coming in and basically forging or forcing themselves into my space. Now, I'm looking at the dog from the top of my the stairway, and we make eye contact. And I remember seeing just the incredible amount of darkness and really intense intelligence that was behind this energy. And when I made eye contact, it was very, very strong. And it was at that point that this beast of a manifestation leaped up the 13 stairs, which I actually had 13 stairs. Again, it was a replica I consciously created a replica of my stairway. It leaped up 13 stairs at lightning speed, like, like he was going to attack me, and he came right up to my face, and I just kind of bend back just a bit, never losing eye contact. I didn't flinch. There was not an ounce of fear. Absolutely, I didn't flinch one bit, not in the lucid dream state and not in my physical body. At that moment, when I maintained eye contact, the beast looked at me and did like this. Like he saw something he wasn't trying to deal with, and he slowly turned away and slowly went back down the stairs, back to the open doorway, turned around, sat down, looked at me again, and I was still just sitting there in a neutral state. No fear, no anger, no nothing. I stayed in a neutral state, but I was standing my ground by maintaining mind's eye contact. And the beast turned around, looked at me again, leaped back up the stairs like he was going to viciously attack me again, and he did like this again, as if he couldn't stand what I was projecting. He couldn't make the eye contact. Now, I remember clear as day, and I felt it in my physical body, the intense darkness that was behind this beast and the intelligence. This was a very intelligent force that I did not invite, and I had nothing to do with and didn't want to have anything to do with. So, again, when I stared it down and it was really thrown off by whatever it was feeling from me, the beast turned around, went back downstairs, sat down at the doorway, and it was at that point that I looked at him, and instantly, without much energy, thought whatsoever, I looked at the beast and turned it into a little toy Pomeranian. And not only that, I visualized a tutu and put a tutu on him. And then I visualized slamming the door, and that was the end of that. Slamming the door on the now yelping, disempowered beast and his master was my superconscious mind or greater self, metaphysically, symbolically, and psychically shutting them out of and off from access to my physical and metaphysical house. Now, in that moment, this energy tried to basically get a reaction out of me to feed off of my energy. And what did I do? Rather than give into that, either by going into a state of fear or going into anger or attack mode in the way that they wanted or needed it in order to psychically feed off of me, I simply went into a neutral zone and then neutralized the beast by turning it into basically a harmless form of energy and neutralize the situation. Now, I'm sharing this with you guys because we have and we will all be challenged in terms of these sorts of attacks. And we never want to give into these energies by giving them exactly what they're trying to get from us or giving them exactly what they are giving us. You always want to give the total opposite and neutralize the situation either by turning it into something harmless or projecting love. I could have easily gone into the love state, but basically this energy, this uninvited energy came into my space and I dealt with it the best way I saw fit. And so that was that. Now, you guys have to remember that there is more going on in our dream state, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. Our dreams are real. Either they are real in the sense that we are creating them, or they are real in terms of us visiting fixed dream states where multiple consciousness, multiple energies agree to hold up or sustain that particular dream state. Now, some people may say, well, dreams are just figments of our imagination. And there is some truth to that. you know, because we can use our imagination in our dream states, but still, even still, it is very real, whether it be our imagination, be it be a dream state or a state that was already created, set in place, or what have you. Those who think that dreams are just figments of your imagination, I would like for any of you to please explain to me, how is it that we can be in a very, very, very dark room, absolutely no light, but manage to find ourselves in these dream states where there's all this light and illumination and all of these visuals that is just as real as, if not more, than what we see in physical life. Explain that, if that is in the brain. Provoking thought. Did you know that people who have never seen the physical world through their physical lens, eyes, dream just like the rest of us? Again, if visual perception or consciousness is the result of electrical signals randomly firing off in the brain, then how could people who have never seen the physical world through their eyes manage to have the same point of references and experiences with dreams, or astral projection for that matter, just like those of us born with sight? Stop and think. If that is in the brain, we should be able to just literally sit still and just close our eyes and start dreaming instantly. What happens when we go into a dream state, we simply shift focus, we shift consciousness. Now, when scientists talk about the kind of activity that's going on in the brain during the lucid state, that's not necessarily because the brain is producing it. It's because the brain is trying to decode. The conscious mind, the human mind, is trying to decode and make sense of what is going on in the dream state. And it can't always make sense of it because the brain is not designed to decode higher level consciousness. You're talking about being in a dream state where we are outside of time and space, and many times we are experiencing and participating in a dream state from a 360-degree angle, meaning we are consciously aware of several things going on at the same time, and the brain is trying to decode and process something like that. And so it can only take bits and pieces and fragments that it can understand, and even the information that it's trying to decode, if it's outside of the scope of reasoning or understanding, it would decode it in a way that it can best make out. The explanation just given is the reason why our dreams often appear illogical, silly, fragmented, or nonsensical. The brain is currently designed to decode in a linear, logical, third density way, but in our altered states of consciousness, we are operating in a more fluid, non-linear, multi-dimensional, cyclical state. And herein lies another reason why so many people don't or can't recall or remember their dreams. Their biological processor, the brain, is, for multiple reasons, unable to decode, process, and retain multi-dimensional or quantum information not bound by its functionality or physics. Kind of like some of these applications we have, like, you know, if you have a Windows 98 version, if you try to take a Windows 2000 application and try to open it in a Windows 98, it's going to be the data or document that's from a Windows 2000 application or a software version. If you try to open that up in a much older version, it's not going to have the document there clearly. It's because the older version can't decode and break down a more advanced version. So the physical body has the potential to do very, very advanced things, but not yet. The advanced things will come when our 12-strand DNA is fully activated, and when that junk, so-called junk DNA, no, that's not junk DNA. Those are basically elements within the physical body, or better yet, elements, aka deactivated or unused human software applications that will give us greater awareness, greater abilities, greater decoding capabilities, all kinds of things that we would see or deem as supernatural if they were activated. But for most people, we are not activated in that way. And so when we are in a higher sphere of consciousness and participating either in an astral projection experience or a dream state experience, the physical brain, the processor of the physical body, will not decode it in the way that we are always experiencing it, because it's not designed to do that. It has not, we have not, most of us have not gotten to a point where we can decode multi-dimensional activity outside of the lower human conscious mind. We have not gotten to a point where we can bring the two down and decode them smoothly, spontaneously, without all of the hiccup and the confusion. So I didn't want to make this video long and drawn out. I just want to share that dream with you and explain to you how I dealt with that particular psychic attack. A little bit of information and insight as to how to handle uninvited force that tries to come in and psychically attack you. Again, the key is to always give the opposite of what the force or energy is trying to take from you. And on that note, continue to question, learn, and grow. Happy travels.